Certainly one important challenge is that we get LTE deployed in the most smooth and, let's say, cost-efficient way. So, because we do not want to repeat the story as we had at 3G, where we deployed a completely new network overlay. So it has to be very smooth in utilizing what we have as operator assets, so upgrading sites. That is one step. And second is that we are ready, let's say, with the end-to-end chain in a much earlier time than we were also previously, so that we can offer our customers the best performance, in a good quality very early, and do not suffer from very lengthy yearly optimization and debugging programs. One of the visions, the ideas we have, that we have also plug-and-play base stations going forward. And I hope, especially for the early deployment, we can already benefit from what has been studied and implemented already on plug-and-play, on self-configuration type of base stations. But I think this would not be the end. We will expect also further in this whole lifetime of equipment for optimization, for self-healing, that we have much more automation built into the network components of LTE especially. Why do we want to deploy on the same site? It's basically because we believe we cannot increase our cost level on the network side. So that's why one of the biggest assets is the site. We want to reutilize them as much as possible. So going forward, this means, of course, also using the same antenna as much as possible. And there may be some optimization measures to be done, that you optimize LTE and 3G in a more or less, let's say, common way. But at the end, I believe we can make it, because the automatic algorithms in the base station will allow to do that. Initially, it will certainly be an overlay, because we have so many 3G customers today. We cannot simply switch off 3G. I mean, this is not a pragmatic way forward. But if you really think forward by 5-8 years from now, you can think about whether you can migrate your data customers to the more modern, the more higher performance LTE, and then gradually switch off 3G. This is certainly one option we think about, while certainly for the GSM network, the lifetime will be much longer. Going forward, if you talk about economy of scale now, I think it's good if more and more operators focus on the same technology, driving down the cost by increasing the volumes in terminals, the volumes in base stations. I think that's the right step forward for this, let's say, globalized world we are in. And everybody dreams of having just one standard, can roam everywhere worldwide. And LTE certainly is in a good position to enable this. I think it's always the case that not everybody starts at the same time. I think there will always be the front runners, the leading, let's say, vendors, the leading operators who start with early deployments, with early trials, let's say, with early debugging of systems, and then there will be some others who come in a second or third wave. Quite natural behavior. I wouldn't say that this would be different with LTE. But what we see today is a much higher commitment from let's say, the most leading media operators to deploy the next generation in the next couple of years. We do not wait for the next radio standard to migrate our core network to an all-IP core network. This is very much done independent of that change on the radio standards. And this will certainly continue. And then, let's say, core network will be first on all-IP, and then radio with LTE will follow. And in the end, we will have an all-IP end-to-end network. The overall economic crisis, the financial crisis, will also have an impact on our industry. Although we learned also this morning that, let's say, the impact is smaller compared to other industries in the world. But if you talk about now huge spending of capex for the next couple of years, I can imagine that there will be some careful thoughts when it's the right timing to do that. And certainly also the next 12 months will show us how, let's say, the overall economic situation will impact also operators in terms of their revenues. On the other hand, what I sense as well is that more and more governments are really willing to to invest also in infrastructure, and infrastructure is also telco infrastructure, in order to, let's say, overcome a bit of the impact of the financial crisis. So there's also a chance that if we have the right solutions in place, that we can, let's say, benefit also from that government investments, and to the benefit of the whole, let's say, other industry. If we have best broadband available, being it fixed, being it mobile, it will help anybody in the world going forward.